Hi, this is Angie Nowak. It is August 23rd, and it is night 3 of the week intensive for the MAC online program. Today we started off the day by going to Red Rocks Amphitheater, and being as I am from Denver, or I live in Denver currently, this is somewhere that I have been before and absolutely love. It was a gorgeous morning, really relaxing, a perfect way to start off the day. We had some reflection time. We were given an assignment to choose something to take back with us for when we go home from the intensive. And rather than using a rock or a leaf or something physical, I kind of decided to come back with a commitment to excellence, and that doesn't necessarily mean a 4.0. To me, that meant a commitment to being the absolute best counselor that I can be, and that means educating myself, and that means putting in everything that I can to this program to get everything out of it that I need and that I want. So I wrote that down, and we'll be putting it on a mirror in my bathroom so I can see it every morning. Then I put some quotes, an academic quote, and a religious quote or a Christian quote on there so I can see that. So that was a wonderful way to start off the day. We also were able to talk about music, which kind of segmented into the next portion of the class. Music is so near and dear to my heart. I actually was a partial music major in college. I sing classical opera, and I love it. So I loved us getting to kind of talk about music and how it can move you, because it is such an integral part of my life and who I am. So that was exciting for us to kind of get to talk about music and music within therapy, because I always want to incorporate music in everything that I do. So it was kind of exciting to hear them talk about the different ways that you can incorporate music. So that was really fun to get to talk about. And the next thing that we did, we split up into table groups and kind of did a fun hands-on activity, a group communication activity for building some kind of structure and a marshmallow. And first off, I loved it because I am a very kinesthetic learner and I love hands-on. And I thought that my group ended up winning, which was fun. But I thought that we did that because we worked so well as a team. I consider myself a more dominant personality, and that, along with Johnny, worked out really well because the other two members of our group really fell into a more supporting role. And I think that we all balanced out so easily in a really organic way, and were able to accomplish something very fun and structurally sound. So that was a really good communication tool for us. And after we listened to the other groups talk about their experiences and what they had gone through. You saw a group where no one wanted to take the lead, so it just didn't happen. And I think that's kind of a metaphor for counseling as well, that I think that we can open doors for clients, but until they're willing to step through them and until they're willing to kind of take the lead of their life a little bit, then there's only so much that we can do. So that was interesting to see kind of how the different groups work together, and especially how my group worked together very successfully. So that was a nice hands-on tool. Today in general seemed much more laid back as opposed to the kind of 14-hour day yesterday, which was nice. I did feel more probably at ease because of that, because the tone starting off at Red Rocks, the tone was set to be a little bit more low key, which was nice. Then next we were able to watch a couple of videos. And this was interesting for me, the video with the veteran who I don't really want to say lied, because I don't know where he was coming from, but had given false information when auditioning for that television show. Is very interesting because I would consider myself moved by his original performance. I actually suffered a traumatic brain injury, so when he talked about his brain injury and what he had suffered, that hit me on a very deep level of, and look at what he's accomplished now. That's incredible. Oh my gosh, and then to hear that maybe that wasn't the case, I guess offended me a little bit, as well as especially with our veterans. I consider myself very patriotic, and I love America and I appreciate our veterans. So I hated that that might have offended them or given them some kind of a bad reputation almost, or maybe he would have tainted something in that way. So that was hard for me, but it also comes down to I don't know what his intentions were behind that. I do understand that clients, will lie to us when we're counseling. I think there's probably maybe a different motivation behind that of possibly fame and, getting on TV as opposed to lying to someone in a one-on-one session, I think says something a little bit different. So that was interesting to process through and to hear the classes different views on that and how they felt about it, and to see people crying in the first video and then watching the second video and being very upset. So it was interesting to see the class dynamics as well as how it affected myself emotionally. Through the last part of class, we had a couple different discussions about homosexuality, abortion, and what that would look like in counseling. And I found it very interesting, the different dynamics going on in the room. While different members were speaking, I was kind of looking around and looking at different people's faces and seeing how they were reacting to it. And I thought it was definitely a source of, I felt a lot of tension in the room. I felt a lot of, oh, maybe if I don't, look really engaged in this and that I agree with it, maybe that'll, I don't know. It was a really interesting dynamic in the room during some of this conversation. And I definitely, my idea on that, I think is a lot more, very textbook counseling. I don't think that it is appropriate to bring your personal biases and values into your counseling career, unless you're talking to someone who addresses, you're a Christian, I'm a Christian, or are you a Christian? Can we talk about that? Can we talk about the Lord? Other than that, I mean, communication issues are communication issues, whether that be a homosexual couple or a straight heterosexual couple. So I just think that, it's our job, and it's my job to be trained on how to deal with communication issues, with marital problems, whatever it may be across the board. And I think that, whether that be a transgendered couple or a heterosexual couple, I think those are going to look similar, and the things that I'm going to learn, the tools that I'm going to obtain will kind of span across that. Human beings are human beings, and I think we have to treat them as such and so individually. And, whether someone is coming from a background like that or has seen incredible trauma, it doesn't really matter. You do have to meet people where you're at. And I think that the class definitely agreed and paralleled on that. So we definitely ended with some intense conversation. And this video is actually helping me process a little bit of that right now, to be able to kind of say, okay, what happened? Maybe why people were getting, so upset. And I think that not necessarily upset, but worked up over, and that's probably because of, personal things that they have gone through, or people that they know, or things that they have seen. And so I think a true aspect behind that will be for self-care, for us, each of us, to make sure that we're working on those things, and making sure that we're always keeping ourselves in check, so that way when we are counseling, that we can be completely intentional with the person that we're with. So that's kind of what happened today. Not 100% sure that I'll be at the worship session in the morning. I have a friend moving out of town who I'm going to have breakfast with, but we will see, and I'm really excited for what tomorrow holds. I can't believe we're over halfway through now, and what an incredible opportunity. I'm really blessed to be a part of it. So thank you very much. Not good night yet. It's not that late, but I will see you tomorrow. Good night.